With the recent release of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, the DCEU has finally and officially come to an end. While in my opinion it was a disappointing end to this world, and I feel like they could have ended it so much better, this world is more expansive than many may think and still had a lot of great stories, fights, and moments to offer. So welcome to Big Flick Energy as we discuss the final chronological watch order for the entirety of the DCEU, including shows, films, shorts, and the multiverse, and pretty much just the order to watch everything in this world. So, let's get right into it. We start with Wonder Woman taking place in the year 1918. Diana, an Amazonian princess, discovers her divine heritage as daughter of Zeus, one of the old gods, and battles the god Ares during World War I. The film intricately explores the complexities of human nature and war, concluding with Diana's realization of her role as a protector of this world. This sets the stage for her continued journey in a world of mortals. But before this, we're sidetracked to the story of one of Diana's allies in her journey in her titular film with Etta's mission, taking place shortly after the original film. Inspired by Wonder Woman's heroism, Etta Candy embarks on a covert mission to dismantle remnants of Ares' influence, delving into the covert operations that connect the past and present. Etta's mission becomes a bridge linking the events of the first film to new challenges that emerge in the shadows, as we are introduced to a mother box, an item that will play a major role when new heroes arise. Before they arise though, we continue with Diana's story in Wonder Woman 1984, which obviously takes place in 1984. So decades after her original film, Diana faces Maxwell Lord, a power-hungry businessman, and Cheetah, an envious friend. The film explores the consequences of making wishes and the impact on the world, delving into themes of desire and sacrifice. The 80s setting adds a vibrant backdrop to Wonder Woman's evolving understanding of humanity and shows the magic this world holds with the Wishing Stone. But outside of magic, the DCU has other powers that are more extraterrestrial, as seen in Man of Steel, taking place in 2013. In this film, Kal-El, the last son of Krypton, becomes Earth's protector as Superman, battling General Zod. This origin story establishes Superman as a symbol of hope and sets the stage for heightened public awareness of superpowered beings, leading to a world grappling with the implications of extraterrestrial beings among them. We see these remnants in Batman vs. Superman in 2015, where Batman is skeptical of Superman's power due to the destruction caused in 2013's Battle of the Kryptonians. So he confronts him, leading to a conflict that is exploited by Lex Luthor, resulting in the death of Superman. The film explores the consequences of unchecked power, delving into themes of fear and prejudice, and it sets up the formation of the Justice League and further explores the complex dynamics amongst the DCU's iconic heroes. This is then followed by Suicide Squad in 2016. Here, Task Force X, a group of anti-heroes, is assembled by Amanda Waller to combat a supernatural threat and also a magical threat, as she seems to build a team she is in control of whenever the heroes aren't there to save the day. Amongst the team members are Harley Quinn, a character who will play a large role in this world, and Joker, who had an underwhelming presence in this world, but important nonetheless. The events establish the existence of metahumans in the world, offering a gritty and morally ambiguous perspective on the DCU's diverse characters, paving the way for darker narratives. We continue to see this darker DCU in Justice League, taking place in 2017. Well, it's only darker if we're watching the Snyder Cut and not the original, which in this case we would be. Also, for Batman vs. Superman, we will also be watching the Ultimate Edition, as it is also a better version of the original film. So, just to check, Ultimate Edition Batman vs. Superman and Snyder Cut for Justice League. I believe those are two of the better versions for these stories. Obviously, it's up to you whichever you want to watch, but if you want a better experience, watch those two. So, in Justice League, Batman and Wonder Woman unite Aquaman, the Flash, and Cyborg to prevent an otherworldly invasion by Steppenwolf in the name of Darkseid. By using a mother box, Superman returns from the dead and completes the formation of the Justice League, highlighting the need for unity in the face of global threats as the team defeats Steppenwolf and Darkseid prepares for his arrival to Earth, setting the stage for a film we will sadly never get to see. Now, one of the heroes, Aquaman, then gets his solo movie, taking place in 2018. In this film, Arthur Curry, the Atlantean heir to the throne, confronts his half-brother Orm, the Ocean Master, and embraces his destiny as the rightful king. The film deepens the exploration of underwater realms and the global consequences of superhero actions, showcasing the diverse corners of the DC universe where I must say, the world building in the two Aquaman movies is, in my opinion, on par with Star Wars, which is extremely impressive and arguably the strongest facet of these films for me. Now next, we have Shazam in 2019. As teenager Billy Batson gains the power to transform into an adult superhero, Shazam. The film introduces the Shazam family and explores the lighter side of superheroism, emphasizing the importance of family bonds and the joy that comes with being a hero. We continue to see the magic in this world, but are then taken to a very grounded film in the streets of Gotham in Birds of Prey in 2020. Post-breakup with the Joker, Harley Quinn teams up with Black Canary, Huntress, and a detective to save a young girl destined to eventually become Batgirl from the crime lord Black Mask. But sadly, we probably will never get to see her become Batgirl. Now, Harley's not gone for long as she is apparently arrested within the year and rejoins Task Force X in The Suicide Squad in 2021, not to be confused with Suicide Squad. Now, Task Force X is reassembled for a dangerous mission, introducing new members and confronting a monstrous threat in the form of Starro, a beast from outer space. The film continues the exploration of morally ambiguous characters, showcasing the chaotic and unpredictable nature of these anti-heroes, while also presenting us with a new underwater beast that personally I would have loved to have seen eventually take on Aquaman in the form of King Shark, and the character of Peacemaker, who a year later goes on his own mission in the TV series Peacemaker in 2022. Now, following the events of the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, a government operative, faces a new threat while dealing with the consequences of his actions from the Suicide Squad. The series delves deeper into the psyche of the conflicted character, providing a character-focused narrative within the broader DCEU and continuing this dismay of Amanda Waller's reign in this world. Now, after is Black Adam in 2022. It reintroduces us to magic through Dr. Fate and the lore around Shazam, but here, the ancient anti-hero Black Adam returns, seeking redemption and clashing with modern society and heroes. The film expands the mythos of magical characters in the DCEU, introducing ancient conflicts and adding a layer of complexity to the magical elements within the universe. The film concludes once again displaying the power Amanda Waller holds as she calls forth Superman to threaten Black Adam, setting the stage for another battle we sadly will never get to see. Now, after this is Shazam: Fury of the Gods in 2023. Billy Batson as Shazam faces new magical threats alongside the Shazam family, delving deeper into the mystical aspects introduced in the first film, as Shazam takes on the Daughters of Atlas, one of the old gods. The film explores the responsibilities and challenges that come with wielding magical powers in a world filled with extraordinary beings. We see another child of an old god in the form of Wonder Woman, who brings Billy back from the dead towards the end of the film. But the true ending of the film sees Shazam be recruited by Amanda Waller's team to join the Justice Society, a team we recently met in Black Adam comprised of Dr. Fate, who died, Hawkman, Cyclone, Atom Smasher, and maybe Superman. Now, I did say that was the final ending, but there was another ending for Shazam: Fury of the Gods, which teases the same villain that was teased at the end of the first Shazam movie. So, this same villain appears in two straight Shazam movies at the end, pretty much with the exact same scene in something we once again will probably never see. So, now the next film is The Flash in 2023. Here, Barry Allen, the Flash, travels back in time to save his mother from dying, but in doing so changes time and creates a crack in the multiverse. Now, while Flash eventually saves the timeline in this film, he creates a new ripple in this world where the Batman we know is no longer Ben Affleck's Batman, and it isn't Michael Keaton's Batman who played a large role in this film, but it is instead George Clooney's Batman. Because it is Clooney's Batman, his film Batman and Robin now takes place in this now more vibrant than before DCU, with a more vibrant Gotham. In 1997, Gotham's dynamic duo Batman and Robin face the chilling Mr. Freeze and the seductive Poison Ivy. The film, known for its campy style, introduces Batgirl and delves into the strained relationships among the crime-fighting team. While Batman and Robin's partnership is tested, the movie is often remembered for its over-the-top visuals and lighthearted tone, marking a departure from the darker themes of its predecessors, which, as mentioned before, sort of sets the tone for what we will see in the final 2 DCEU films in this world. But before that, now that we know the multiverse exists in the DCEU, we can witness the stories of all the films shown when the Flash saw the multiverse in his film, which starts with Earth 49. And on Earth 49, we start off with Superman and the Mole Men, taking place in the year 1949. In this early Superman feature, the Man of Steel encounters subterranean creatures threatening a small town. The film serves as a precursor to the Adventures of Superman television series, introducing George Reeves as Superman. While addressing social issues of acceptance and fear, Superman showcases his iconic abilities in a simpler black and white era of superhero storytelling. We then arrive to that series, Adventures of Superman, taking place in 1952. George Reeves reprises his role as Superman in this classic TV series, and as the first live-action adaptation of the DC Comics character, Adventures of Superman follows the caped hero as he battles villains like Lex Luthor and upholds truth and justice. The show establishes the enduring image of Superman for a generation, blending action with moral lessons. Witnessing Lex shows us how, although Earth 49 and the DCU are separate, Michael Keaton's Batman's mention of fixed points in time for every world holds true with the Superman vs. Lex Luthor rivalry in Earth 49. We then jump to the next universe with Earth 66, starting with Batman the series in 1966. It follows the dynamic duo of Batman and Robin as they protect Gotham from various colorful villains. The show embraces a campy and comedic tone, featuring the iconic performances of Adam West as Batman and Burt Ward as Robin. Each episode presents a self-contained story where the dynamic duo faces off against a rogues gallery of villains, balancing crime fighting with humor, which we continue to see in the titular film, Batman, once again in the year 1966. So this mission sees Batman and Robin battling their arch-nemesis, Joker, Penguin, Riddler, and Catwoman, who join forces to dehydrate the United World Security Council. The film captures the whimsical and lighthearted spirit of the series, delivering a plot where the heroes thwart the villain's plot and save the day with their trademark gadgets and wits. Now, while not directly related to the story of Adam West Batman, a series that crosses over with Batman was The Green Hornet in 1968. This TV series, connected to the Batman universe, follows newspaper publisher Britt Reed, who moonlights as the mass vigilante Green Hornet, accompanied by a skilled martial artist sidekick, Kato. The series explores their efforts to fight crime and corruption, blending action with a crime procedural narrative. This is then followed by Batman: Return of the Caped Crusaders, an animated film that revisits the Batman universe, featuring the voices of Adam West, Burt Ward, and Julie Newmar reprising their roles. The story sees Batman and Robin facing off against classic villains, including a nefarious plan by Catwoman, Penguin, Joker, and the Riddler. The film continues the comedic and nostalgic tone of the original series, paying homage to the classic Batman adventures, and is actually followed up by Batman vs. Two-Face, another animated feature set in the Batman universe, where Batman and Robin confront Two-Face, the district attorney turned villain. The story explores the tragic transformation of Harvey Dent into Two-Face and the dynamic duo's efforts to stop his criminal activities. The film maintains the humor and dynamic storytelling of the original series, while delving into the psychological aspects of Two-Face's character. Earth 66 fixed points in time to the DCU include Batman, Joker, and the Penguin's presence in the world. Now, the next universe to explore is Earth 90, starting with Superman in 1978. The iconic film that launched the Superman film franchise, Superman, explores the origin of the Man of Steel, from his infancy on Krypton to his heroic deeds in Metropolis. The story follows Superman's struggle against the villainous Lex Luthor, and his quest to save Earth from a destructive plot. Christopher Reeve's portrayal of Superman in the film's balanced blend of action, romance, and heroism set a standard for superhero storytelling, which is followed up in 1982's Superman 2. The sequel continues Superman's adventures as he faces 3 Kryptonian criminals, including General Zod, released from the Phantom Zone. The film delves into Superman's choice between love and duty, with his decision to relinquish his powers leading to personal consequences. The conflict against Zod intensifies, showcasing the vulnerabilities of the Man of Steel, which leads into Superman 3, set in 1983. This installment explores the darker side of Superman as he grapples with a corrupted doppelganger created by synthetic kryptonite. The film delves into themes of inner conflict and identity, with Superman overcoming his internal struggles to thwart a villainous plot. Separated from the main line of films, but within the same world, is Supergirl, taking place in 1984. Supergirl introduces Kara Zor-El, Superman's cousin, who comes to Earth to retrieve a powerful artifact. The film follows Supergirl's journey as she battles the sorceress Selena to save both her world and Earth. While exploring themes of empowerment and heroism, the movie introduces a new dimension to the Superman cinematic universe through Supergirl's character. We then return back to Clark Kent and his adventures with Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, taking place in 1987. In the fourth installment, Superman seeks to eliminate nuclear weapons to bring about global peace. However, his actions lead to the creation of a new adversary, Nuclear Man. The film explores Superman's commitment to altruism and the consequences of his decisions, addressing political and ethical themes. Earth 90's fixed points in time to the DCEU include Superman, Lex Luthor, Kryptonite, and General Zod's presence in the world. Now, the final multiversal world to explore is Keaton's Batman universe, otherwise known as Earth 89, which starts off with Batman in 1989. Tim Burton's Batman introduces a darker and more gothic Gotham City as Michael Keaton's Batman faces off against Jack Nicholson's iconic portrayal of the Joker. The film explores Batman's origin, his relationship with Gotham, and the psychological battle between the Dark Knight and the Clown Prince of Crime, as this is the second time we have seen this Batman in this world, or in this multiverse, as the first time was in The Flash. Now, this is followed up by Batman Returns in 1992. Tim Burton's sequel, Batman Returns, delves deeper into the dark and fantastical elements of Gotham as Batman confronts the Penguin, Catwoman, and a corrupt businessman by the name of Shrek. Not that Shrek, but still Shrek. The film explores themes of duality, identity, and societal expectations, with Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman providing a complex and conflicted counterpart to Batman. Her Catwoman goes through a unique origin, actually granting her powers, something which is further explored in 2004's Catwoman, and in this film, Halle Berry takes on the role of Catwoman in this standalone film. And in this film, Halle Berry takes on the role of Catwoman, and it deviates from the established Batman narrative. The story centers on Patience Phillips, who gains feline powers after a supernatural experience similar to Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. Earth 89's fixed points in time to the DCEU include Batman, Joker, and Penguin's presence in the world, alongside the island of Corto Maltese, which is the island in the events of the Suicide Squad, and it is also the island in which an article was written about it in Batman 1989. Now, before I continue, I want to mention why I didn't include the Arrowverse in this multiverse, since the DCU Flash does meet the Arrowverse Flash, and there are two big reasons for why I did not include it. First, the two Flashes met before Arrowverse Flash reset the timeline and reset the entire multiverse. So even if they are connected, that would mean the Flash we saw in the Arrowverse Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover is actually just a similar version of the DCEU Flash and not actually him. So the two worlds have actually never interacted. And second, if I included the entire Arrowverse into this video as its own world, this would be the complete Arrowverse watch order video instead of a DCU video. And that's the exact same reason that I didn't include the Scooby-Doo crossover to the Adam West Batman, because that just would have become the Scooby-Doo universe if I included everything from Scooby-Doo in that world. So with that, we can continue back into Earth 1, otherwise known as the DCU for now, in this continuity with 2023's Blue Beetle. This film explores a new hero in the vibrant Palmera City, which provides a more comedic version of the DCEU, displaying some very comic-esque gadgets and references to Batman, who in this world is now Clooney's Batman, explaining why this world seems a bit more goofy. The film ends with a post-credit scene about the original Blue Beetle that I'm not sure if we'll ever get answers to, since Blue Beetle is part of James Gunn's DCU, but we're not sure if his movie will be. But with that, we can move on to the final film with 2023's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, a film that explores Aquaman against Black Manta as Manta seeks revenge and finds a magical trident that can help him complete his mission. Once again, this film is pretty goofy at times and feels like a proper continuation for this Clooney Batman-led world. And sadly, this film gives us no conclusion, except for now knowing the world knows about Atlantis, and that Orm is living amongst the humans, eating burgers filled with cockroaches. So that is probably the worst way you can end an entire world. It's kind of ironic that they ended their world with Aquaman saying, "I am Aquaman," which is literally the exact same way the MCU started their world with Iron Man saying, "I am Iron Man." So it was pretty disappointing to see that's how it ended. But as you can see from this entire list, there are a lot of stories that were left unfinished, and that is the most disappointing aspect for me. I feel like there was a lot of potential there. But overall, it is a pretty disappointing conclusion to DCEU, but there are 4 ways in which it can continue. First, the new DC anime series Suicide Squad Isekai has a lot of similar character designs to what we saw in the DCEU. So it could be an unofficial way for the DCEU to continue. First trailer is out, so if you want to check it out to see what I'm saying and see how even the Joker, while he does look kind of different, the Joker he looks the most similar to is actually the DCEU Joker. And obviously Peacemaker looks very similar. Harley, you can play it that she looks similar enough. So overall, you can play that it's an unofficial sequel to that world. Second, the obvious possibility is James Gunn eventually bringing the multiverse into play and reintroducing us to the DCEU characters in his own world through major crossover events. Like, let's say they do eventually do a Crisis on Infinite Earths in James Gunn's world. That would be the perfect time to bring back the DCEU. I also made a couple videos on how I would have continued the DC universe, or I guess the DCEU, because a lot of those projects are continuations of those films. And in that storyline, I mentioned a lot of ways that they can bring the multiverse into play. For example, doing a multiversal John Constantine movie, doing a series similar to What If that Marvel is currently releasing. So I feel like there are a lot of methods that they can use that I feel like they should not be scared to do, and that could be a great way to bring the DCEU back. Third, Zack Snyder said he would continue making the DCEU if they came to an agreement with Netflix. And although I don't think it's possible, with all of the HBO Max content that WBD is selling off to Netflix to be able to show on their streaming service, matter of fact, Aquaman is now available on Netflix, now is the perfect time for Netflix to try and get the rights to the Snyderverse. The fourth option, which I can guarantee will happen, is I am personally planning on making a video of one final DCEU film story that would be ideal to close out this world. It would deal with the ends of all the stories we know, with a Justice Society comprised of Superman, Shazam, Hawkman, Cyclone, and Atom Smasher, Superman's long-awaited battle against Black Adam, George Clooney's Batman, Martian Manhunter's arrival into this world, Aquaman unveiling Atlantis to the world, the original Blue Beetle finding a way back home, a new Dr. Fate, the end of the 2 Shazam movies being explored, and the arrival of Darkseid to Earth in the form of the film Justice League: The Darkseid War. So thank you for watching this video. Please let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on the DCEU as a whole, if you would be interested to see a film that closes out the DCEU and all its storylines, some things you would want to see in that film since I'm currently working on its story, and if you're excited for what James Gunn's DCEU may look like. So thanks again, please like and subscribe, and see you next time on Big Flick Energy.